Stoveleg Media, igniting conversation.
Welcome to True Crime to Go. What can I get for you?
Yeah, give me a story of an unbelievable crime caught on camera, but still so many questions.
Pull up to the second window and we'll see you next crime.
Welcome to True Crime to Go. I am John, here with Jamie. This case is all the buzz in Kentucky and nationally. I simply cannot believe we have not covered it yet.
Well, in all fairness, this is the case of Sheriff Mickey Stines killing Judge Kevin Mullins in his chambers, caught on camera. We have interviewed Mickey Stines' attorney, Jeremy Bartley, and had a lot of conversations, done a lot of TikToks about it, but we really have never just broken down what we know here on the show. And there's some new info that has come out in the last week, so we wanted to jump on here and share that.
Believe it or not, it has been almost a year. So we're going to go back to September 19th, 2024. That's when a small Kentucky courthouse, the unthinkable happened. I really cannot believe that this happened. So let's get into it. District Judge Kevin R. Mullins had served Letcher County faithfully since 2009. I say faithfully, meaning consecutively, and not necessarily morally faithfully. Does that make sense? The distinction?
Yes, he had been there. Basically, he was he was there for a long time in a row.
He was only 54 years old. He was educated at the University of Kentucky and Louisville Law, and he was in the judicial system for a long time.
Yeah. The main charge with killing him is also well known in southeastern Kentucky, and his name is former Sheriff Shawn Mickey Stines, goes by Mickey, who is 43 years old. They seem to work really close together. Stines had previously worked as Mullins' bailiff and was elected sheriff in 2018, then elected again in 2022. So this is a town that, I've spent some time in the last year, and very small town. They knew each other really well, and everybody knew that they knew each other, right?
Yeah, absolutely. This is a really small town. Everybody knows everybody. And man, we'll spend some time in a minute talking about the rumor mill, but we know for sure that at exactly 2:40 p.m., Stines walked into Mullins' chambers. He handed his phone to the judge, locked the door behind him, and moments later opened fire. He shot Mullins multiple times, even as Mullins was laying on the floor. And we know this because, like you said earlier, it was all caught on video.
And you can find that video in its entirety online to see that Stines, they went back and forth on a phone, and it looks as if Stines picks up Mullins' phone and dials it and then pulls out his firearm. And like you said, he shot him several times, walked around the desk and shot him some more. It's a very traumatic scene to watch. When Stines walked out and was approached by law enforcement, he said, "There's nobody else. It was me." A detective testified that Stines had also claimed that somebody had been trying to kidnap his wife and daughter. He kept saying this over and over. And body cam footage from the officers afterwards show a man who's really paranoid. He kept talking about, "If I step a foot out of here, I'll breathe my last breath. Come on, guys, they're trying to kill me." Just some really off-the-wall stuff.
There's not really been a clear motive confirmed. I think there are lots of speculation, and we'll dig into some more of that here in a moment. The sheriff and the judge did share decades of friendship. I think there was some potential animosity going on between the two because one of Stines' deputies had been in some legal trouble there in court under Mullins. So I don't know. I think early on there was some speculation that potentially had something to do with it. But Jamie, have we ever found out what was were there any truth to the rumors about, or even the fact that his daughter may have been involved, or he thought the judge was somehow trying to harm his family?
Well, the lawsuit you mentioned, going back to that, it was Stines' deputy was charged with trading leniency for sexual favors, and Stines was recently he did a deposition, and some people are attributing that as part of a potential mental health break, or as the defense is claiming, extreme emotional disturbance here. But as far as the daughter goes, from what I can tell, the daughter has said she had no relationship with Judge Mullins, but people have confirmed that that was the number on the phone. So where's the balance there, and how did that play into the whole situation? I'm not quite sure, but we have heard a lot of things come out since then about, what's happened in the community. Several women have come forward and said that Judge Mullins was trading leniency and lighter court sentences and dropping charges for sexual favors as well. And to be honest with you, John, I had heard that a long time before this happened, that was happening in Whitesburg.
Yeah, as soon as this happened, that's the word on the street, so to speak. So since then, like you said, I've seen women on like social media who have posted videos of themselves talking about what they had experienced there in Letcher County. So if those things are true, then at a minimum, we know there was a lot of evil things happening in the court. Now, does that justify the sheriff going in and shooting the judge on the spot? Absolutely not. And I'm not trying to make that argument, but I don't think that this case is going to be as simple as everyone thinks. I honestly, I've said from the beginning, I expect a plea deal so that if there was nefarious stuff going on with the judge, that doesn't become public record. I don't think anybody in his family and the community would want that officially on the record. So I think this case is going to plea out, but they've also got the option on the table, which is what the defense is trying to do, is to basically make it to where his psych eval shows he was not in a right state of mind and potentially not mentally stable enough to withstand trial or to be held accountable. I don't know where we are there.
The psych eval that was unsealed in the last week said that he was still, days after the shooting, still in an active state of psychosis, unaware of his surroundings and unaware of why he was where he was, and really he didn't even know where he had been or why. And that's from a psych eval, not just somebody observing it. So there may be other experts that check in on him, but I think that's a big win for the defense that the psych eval says that. Now, where will it end up? I think you're right. I see it go into a plea, but who knows? We can continue to gather information here. Regardless of what happens with Mickey Stines, I hope that there continues to be a focus in Letcher County, because obviously there's a lot that needs to be cleaned up down there.
Absolutely. There's a lot of video footage you can watch on this case. One of the things that I find most interesting is his transport to the jail is all documented on videotape that's been released. And you can see in the video, and I don't think it's an act, he is highly paranoid. He thinks that the police officers doing the transport are there to hurt him and to kill him. And that's, if that kind of mindset persisted for a long time before and after the murder, then it's one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, it is. So. It's wild. And most of that is over on our TikTok. You can really find it anywhere. Just search Mickey Stines body cam and it'll show you all that. But we do have some connections to the case. I grew up in southeastern Kentucky. We have some contacts that are close to it. And as we continue to get information, we will continue to share it over on social media and here as well.
Guys, we appreciate you sticking around for this episode of True Crime to Go.
It's been a crime story in 10 minutes or less.
Would you like crime with that?
You've listened to True Crimecast, distributed by Stoveleg Media. Check out stoveleg.com to find out more about your hosts and to find other podcasts to listen to. Stoveleg Media, igniting conversation.